Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. While my stream populates with people, I'm going to continue to process my dinner. Mm. Of course, it takes a while because YouTube delays the first 30 seconds, and then it can take my viewers about a minute to get here. Mm. Oh my goodness. It's taking longer for people to show up than I thought. Mm. So I've been able to finish off my dinner and talk with my mouth full. Ah, definitely got to catch that nose that's trying to run away. Ah, oh wow! So just another chill out day today. In Canada, because Easter is sort of, classified as a holiday, but it always falls on a Sunday. Our Canadian government, I believe, under the Pierre Trudeau era, decided that their employees should have a substitute day off. Because Easter Sunday is a Sunday and not a business day, they would get the following day, Monday, as their, holiday day off, because, they have to be entitled to a day off work because it's a holiday. So Easter Monday was created. And at a time, there were regulations in place that, businesses had to be closed on statutory holidays. Good morning, Darlene. How are you today? Welcome to my live stream. Yes, you are the first like here. And there is Britt, Ivy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining my live stream. I give my friends, blue jackets when they're in my live stream. So, how are you gals doing this morning? Darlene, meet Ivy. I don't know if you two know each other from the streaming world. Well, my day's been good. It's one of those days. Uh, I'm transitioning from doing a lot of physical work, trading time for money, to doing stuff where it takes very little input for me on a daily basis, and I'm making money anyways. So I've taken some of that hard-earned money and put it to work for me. Yes. Oh, I saw that you didn't do a live stream last night, so I figured you were exhausted and just drifted off into La La Land without, thinking about the rest of us. Of course, Ivy, you guys, it's well, for the Philippines, I know it's just after 5 a.m. When I was there, both times actually, I would be up, usually 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would be outside enjoying the cool air and doing. I would do some gardening, and I would do some work around the house in the cool morning hours, and then by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, it's getting so hot that you just couldn't do anything outside anymore. So then I would go hide in the shade and, just take it easy, relax, enjoy myself, go turn the fan onto the, bed and fall down on the bed for an hour or so. Although, when you love hiking, yeah. You got to go from Hong Kong. You got to go a long way to go hiking, don't you, Darlene? Oh yeah, up to 32 degrees, and that's a pretty good warm day. I think 32 is 105 Fahrenheit, something like that. That makes for a good warm day. Now, um, you are able to get some hiking in there. That's awesome. My nephew lives in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, and he's an avid mountain biker. He was before he went there, and he took his bike with him to Taiwan, and now he bikes the trails in Taiwan. Every day, he's out on the bike, or as much as possible. And of course, Kaohsiung is, Taiwan is just a mountainous island to begin with. Oh, you did? Oh man, I better go back and look at that one. Thank you, Darlene. I will definitely, go look at that later. I'm very glad to have you in my live stream, Ivy. Now you get to hear me talk and get to see me. My pretty face is a lot different than the picture of my profile, right? Um, I'm actually looking, or I want to make plans to go to Philippines um, late September, early October, and I know there that is Christmas season. Wouldn't it be cool? I go and like for SM stores, right? Um, play Santa. Wouldn't take much, just a little bit of makeup, artist makeup to make my hair white, my beard completely white, and I've got the bowl full of jelly already, and obviously I've got the low ho ho ho, and the kids would just go crazy. Red ball cap with with the white band around it. Red t-shirt with button thing down the front. Red shorts. Yes, I wouldn't doubt your live stream went a little blurry. That's why on the weekend I did a driving stream through my town. So I showed people how close I am to the border to the USA, and then drove out the east side of town and showed them how rocky and rugged our terrain is, and the lakes. We stopped and looked at people out on the lake with their snowmobiles and pop up structure ice fishing, because the lake was probably still is frozen solid. So they're out there drilling 8-inch holes through the ice so they can catch fish and standing on the water. And that's well, you can go back. I think it's 3 streams or 4 streams back. I think I'm going to take part of that and make it a short. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just take part of that and um, edit it for like a 1 minute short. Oh, for people that like fishing, um, you'll find them out there, minus 20 Celsius on the ice fishing. Because once you drill that hole, you're standing at that hole for hours, and at minus 20, man, you pull that fish out, the thing will be the fish sickle in 30 seconds. Yeah, exactly. But there's companies that capitalize on people's willingness to, or desire to go fishing in the winter, do ice fishing. And they've built a line of recreational vehicles just for ice fishing. They made it so that the wheels, will tuck up, and the whole RV will sit right down on the ice, and it's got holes in the floor. You can drill your hole in the ice through, right? And it's basically a tiny house on wheels that can sit on the ice so you can fish. Yep. Oh, better to use the phone. Okay, do vertical live stream then rather than my. Yeah, I got you. I've been having issues with my cell phone, so I've been using my computer for it. Oh yeah, you can, the on either end. So right alongside where I live, it's only about less than a mile away from where I am, due south, is the river that is the boundary between Canada and the USA. And at both ends of the river, there are big lakes. On the east side, it's called the Rainy River. On the west side is Lake of the Woods. And Lake of the Woods is an interesting lake because um, it is the point at which the boundary between Canada and the USA is created. Um, so Lake of the Woods, the northwesternmost point of Lake of the Woods. From there, a line drawn due south to the 49th parallel is where they, then start drawing a line across the land that is, it's not something that you can physically see. It's just an imaginary line drawn across the land. Yep. Okay. I'll take that under advisement, Ivy. I'll do live on my cell phone next time. Am I familiar of Zemco? No. Or Zenko? Mm-mm. No idea what Zenko is. Not a clue. Is that a? Hello, Abby. Hang on. I've got my phone here. Oh, okay. Zenko Duo Vapor Cup. Interesting. You're no way. Huh? He lives in Montreal. Wow. Cool. Hmm. Okay. Thank you for dropping by, Ivy. You have a great day. How come he is an ex boyfriend, Darlene? You didn't like him? Ah, gotcha. And how long did you do LDR? So, your birthday is coming up very soon, 4 days, 3 for you where you are. You got any special plans for your birthday? Hmm. I gotta, thinking about it, if your boyfriend was the creator of Zenko, then he definitely did not have a problem with financial resources to make the trip to Hong Kong. And in all probability, his product is manufactured somewhere in China. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Um, if you dropped out of connection for a time and he did not keep up his interest in you by being in regular contact, then you know where's the authenticity of wanting to have a relationship? Yeah. How long was he silent? 3 years. That's a long time. I had a 4-year long distance relationship with a gal from Kiblawan. Yeah. Yeah. So I had a 4-year LDR with a gal from Kiblawan. She had a son that was 2 years old when we met online. When we met in person, it was just um, 3 days before his 6th birthday. So I was there. We celebrated his 6th birthday. I gave him gifts, and because as far as he knew, I was I was like his papa, right? We would talk as much as we could because he didn't know a lot of English. He's learning more. Oh, he has a big farm also in Canada. Yeah, but there's no reason that that he couldn't make it to Hong Kong, none whatsoever, or even Philippines. You know, take 2 weeks, take 3 weeks, and say to the rest of the world, uh-huh, yeah. But he had the financial resources. He could have easily taken 2 or 3 weeks and said, to the office, I'm gone if you need me. I'm going to be in Hong Kong with Darlene for 3 weeks. Oh, okay. Okay. The whole time like that, or just, when he contacted you back? But let me continue with, the talk about my long distance relationship. But in the first 4 or 5 days, my then girlfriend was speaking to me like I was her little child, telling me, you have to do this and you have to do that and you can't do this and you can't do that, and telling me, well, maybe you should go lie down and take a nap. And what hurt the most is, I mean, the house was arranged very typical Filipino arrangement. Um, the living room and kitchen were tight together. I would sit on the couch in the living room or the bench, and she would sit on the chair at the table at the far end of the table. She wouldn't come sit beside me on the two-seater, bench, far end of the table. And she would be on her cell phone. And if I got up and walked out to go have a cigarette, she would close the phone and turn it face down. So, blocking what she's doing on her cell phone. And it was a lot of, text messaging. So, and rather than take me to the house that I paid for, the farms I was paying for, um, and meet the workers that whose wages I was paying, No. There's been an incident, nearby, and foreigners won't be safe, and I can't trust that you'll be safe out there, so we can't go. And that was the whole time we were there, the whole 3 weeks I was there. Yeah. So then I reached out to a streamer who I had been talking to, and in order to learn more about the culture from somebody else other than my girlfriend. So I reached out to the streamer and I said, "Can you please help me? I don't know the language. Can you find out what the truck is going on, over there in the western part of Region 11?" She comes back to me a few hours later and sends me a screenshot of a post that my girlfriend had put up 9 days before I arrived. It was a Facebook check-in post that said that I'm here getting the paperwork at the Digos LTL with my bestest boyfriend, Dosh Abbe. Oh, did I change my name? And how the hell could I be in the Digos LTO? So I showed her the screenshot and I said, "What the fuck is this?" "Oh, well, he was my boyfriend, but he's not now. We're just good friends." And no, that's not what it says here. You typed this. "Well, how did you get it?" So does it matter how I got it? I've got it. "Well, was it that streamer that you watched?" How does it matter how I got it? I have it. And you typed those words. Then the argument always became about me getting the information from the female streamer. Right? She wouldn't, admit that she had a Filipino boyfriend. Right? And had been scamming me. So, after my dental work was done, I still had 5 days before my return flight. And I said, I was thinking, fuck it. My streamer's only a 4-hour bus ride away. I'll go to the bus terminal, get on the bus to Monty, and go and spend the last few days with her. And I told the cousin whose house we were staying at that, I was thinking of doing that. Well, a few hours later, she comes back. She says, Genevieve said if you go, she's going to have you charged with sexual assault. Okay. I didn't go. But after Genevieve dropped me off at the airport, and, with the airports in the Philippines, only passengers can enter the terminal, right? Yeah. Well, there's a police station in every terminal. Every airport has a police station in the terminal. So I stopped at the police station and I reported it. And the police inspector found the story very interesting, especially since I had miles of documentation and proof. And yeah, it didn't work out well. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, she was cheating. She was using me as an ATM. And, I had already been suspicious that something fishy was going on with her because anytime I tried to call her, that phone would never, ever, ever be answered. But if she was calling me and I didn't answer it on the first go and it went through to the end of the rings and stopped ringing, right away, it would start. She would ring that phone until I answered the damn thing. Yep. Well, the sad thing for her is she was in it for the money, and it cost her everything she got, pretty much, because we bought a banana farm together. We bought vehicles together, and that banana farm has been transferred to my corporation. Those vehicles have been transferred to my name. Yep, she lost it all. The only thing that she was able to keep was the lot and the house, which was, to me, de minimis. Yeah. She lost, the financial support that I was giving her for her son, paying his tuition and his school needs, basic needs, gone. And just, last week she messaged me again, can you do something for her son? No, nope, not at all. And I know it's her because he does not have the English language, capabilities yet. So I've become smarter because of it. Yeah. Oh God, no. No. She, I figured out really quick that she is a narcissist. After I got there, I figured that out right quick because she was very much a carbon copy of my first wife. Yeah. So, I mean, you're quite open and honest that you're looking for a boyfriend, and that streamer that helped me out when I was there with my 4-year LDR became my next girlfriend. And last year I went to see her, and if you look at my videos, you'll actually see us at Pangyan Falls. Yep. And that was in September. So I arrived on August the 27th, left September 17th. And by Christmas time, our relationship was pretty much done. And she had indicated that in our communications. So it finished on New Year's Day. She sent me a message that we're done. I threw everything away. We're over. Okay, whatever. I saw it coming. She had started ignoring me in the chat and talking to other streamers, acknowledging their comments and ignoring mine. So I knew we were done. She never, even when I was in the house and she was live streaming, I had to be silent and invisible. Yep. Yep. I know. I'm being very careful. I mean, you commented that you think I'm in a relationship with Hardy, but she's made it very clear that she's not in a position right now because she is still, legally married to her husband, and that is an impediment to her moving forward with a different relationship. That's her choice. I guess, she doesn't want to appear to be unfaithful to her husband, but then again, I'm still legally on paper married to my wife and mother of my 4 kids, but we haven't been in the same room together in 10 years, other than in court. So there is there's no bridge left between her and I, because not only did she run across the bridge, she knocked the freaking thing down, grabbed the the pieces, burned them, and scattered the ashes. Yes, Harkey is married. Yeah, her husband is a seaman, and he's moved from Alaminos to Cavite. Yep. Well, her husband's fighting it, and the other big problem is, processing the papers costs money. 100,000 pesos to at the very cheapest to get a divorce. And now her youngest son is headed off to college, and that's, what did I figure it out as? 7,500 pesos a month. And the father, sends him 200 pesos every 2 weeks. How the frick is that going to cover the kids' living expenses going to college? Right? The house that, Harkey shared with her husband, he got the land as an inheritance from his family or his parents, and she built the house and furnished it, and he was living off of her income. So it's yeah. The funny thing is, the mother of my kids, the reason she ran away is because at the time I had become unemployed in probably the worst time of year to find work, the middle of winter, especially, when I worked construction. She was able to get a job in a grocery store in the deli department. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, anyways, my ex was working in the deli department, but in February of that month, so before she got the job, we had a total of $367 for the month for everything. Now, that sounds like a lot for you. $367 is what I earn in a long work day, one day, not 20 days. Here, you need $3,500 a month to live. So when in that month that we only had $367, she spent 10 of those dollars on cell phone and ebooks. And I asked her, where in our list of priorities did those purchases fall? Because in my judgment, all we had money for that month was food. That's it, just food. And enough fuel to drive from the house to the grocery store and back. That's it. $10 could have been used to buy 5 bags of vegetables, which could have been anywhere from 5 to 10 meals for the family to have vegetables. But she had to have a cell phone case and a bunch of fucking ebooks that she probably doesn't even have anymore. She paid for them, but doesn't have them anymore. So, I asked her why she would decide to do that when we didn't have money. And her response was, well, I'm entitled to have spending money. But that implies that there is money that is available to be spent on, luxury items, because that's what those are. We didn't even have enough for the necessities, let alone luxuries. So, enough of my rant. How's your morning? I know you're up. You're the same time as Philippines, or 1 hour closer to mine. or 1 hour earlier. So is it 6:51 or 5:51 there? Or no, yeah, 6:51 or 5:51. Yeah, I know you're up already. Oh, what are you making me for breakfast? What is the time in Hong Kong? 7:51. Okay. So you're 12 hours off from Eastern time as well. It's the same time as Philippines. And when do you have to start work? Do you like what you're doing there in Philippines, or you just do it because it's work? Hot coffee for me? Okay. Thank you. That's good. What I've been doing in my coffee for the past week is I didn't buy creamer, but about 3 years ago, I bought hot chocolate mix hot chocolate mix. So now instead of putting creamer in, I'm putting hot chocolate mix into my coffee. Fruit juice. Let me guess. You take fresh fruit and put it in a juicing machine. Oh my goodness. Oh, spent so much time bent over in front of this computer. I gotta bend my back in the other way, straighten up. Oh, what I'm working on trying to get in place. Today is actually a holiday in Canada. It's called Easter Monday. I was ranting about this probably before you came or just as you came. The government back in the 70s, when I was a kid, decided that, all the people that work for the government, since they couldn't have Sunday as a day off of work, because it's already a day off of work for them, would get Monday instead. And they forced the banks to be closed on Monday because now it's a holiday, right? So all these, banks and stores and everything had to be closed on holidays. So we ran into a big problem, especially Easter weekend. Friday's a holiday, day off, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 4 days that you couldn't do anything, buy anything. So now then, in the 80s, that changed when one businessman in Toronto fought the government, and he was open for business on Sunday. And they fined him and they fined him, and he just kept opening up on Sunday constantly and holidays. And he finally prevailed in court that that Sunday was a religious observation, and the government had no business enforcing any religious day. And he won. All the fines were vacated, but it cost him thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But at the end of it, when he finally won, he said, "You know what? It may have cost me that money, but the people that spent the money in his shop on Sundays, just on Sundays, okay, the profit that he made on being open those Sundays more than covered his legal costs to fight the battle for everybody. So get your OEC for your trip. Oh, okay. So how long will you be home? If you had to go to the Philippine consulate here in Canada, I know the embassy is in Ottawa. Let's see. Philippine consulate locations in Canada. Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary. Oh, and a special office in Winnipeg. So Winnipeg is only a 5-hour drive away. Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary. So they got the consulate or the embassy in Ottawa and a consulate in Toronto, and they're a 5-hour drive apart. Oh, nice. 42 days. And let me guess, you're going to spend every one of them at home. And in 3 days, you have your birthday. And then 4 days later, you're on the airplane going home. And they'll probably have the big birthday party for you when you get home. A late one. Yeah. Yeah. But, I live in Ontario. So that is the same province as Toronto and Ottawa. I'm almost to the western edge of the province by Winnipeg, right? The next big city going east is Thunder Bay. Winnipeg and Thunder Bay, for me, are 5 hours. Doesn't matter which way I go. Basically a 5-hour drive. Toronto is 21 hours of driving. Ottawa is 24 hours of driving. Yeah, that's about 24 hours of driving. Because up in the northern part of Ontario, you change directions. No big party at home. Oh no. Oh boy. I think I'm going to have to end this stream real quick and fast and in a hurry, because Mother Nature is demanding that I come and take a seat on the porcelain throne. Darlene, it's been awesome having a chance to talk with you. But I gotta go to the CR badly. The kids want to go swimming. Love you. Bye-bye.